Hey, yeah, hey, hope all is well with you. I am Leslie of LesAnn Creations, coming to you from my workroom. Who? If you don't know me, never heard of me, or know anything about me, I love to sew and I love fabric. One of the things I've done over the years, besides sewing for myself and family members, of course, I've had clientele. But the one thing that a lot of people still don't know that I do is I do alterations. Kind of fell into it because being that I'm a thick girl, buying clothes have never been easy for me. With the extremeness of my waistline to my hip measurement, let's just say it has not been easy. So I kind of fell into doing alterations, and over the years, I've tried and done things that, let's just say, I never thought I would do, but people come to me for sometimes odd alterations, and sometimes they're just the simplest things ever. But they find something they love and they can't find it anywhere else, or they may not want to pay the custom price for it because custom work is not cheap, um, which is fine. So they enlist me to do alterations. So I have one behind me. I've already actually started work on it. So this is a jacket that one of my clients have found. They love the jacket. The fit was great on her. So the body part fit, this hit her in the right position, but she just did not like all this fullness. And I was like looking at her like, it's so cute. And she's like, no. So when they say no, I just gotta kind of go with it. But this is one of my clients I worked with for years, and I kind of know when it's too much for her because her face tells it. That she may not say it, but her face tells it. But this time she told me. So we are in the process of actually reducing the size of this. So this is the sleeve, the actual sleeve. I've already, like I said, taken it off. And what I usually do, just depending on what I have to do. Sometimes it's, like I said, sometimes it's easy, straightforward. Sometimes it's complex. Well, for this, I have to actually remove the sleeve, as you can tell. Remove the sleeve. And after I determined the fullness she desired. So while she wore it, while she had it on, I actually pinned it, adjusting it as I went. And I'll show you real quick kind of how I did it. So I just went inside the sleeve and start, because there's gathers here. The gathers aren't big, but they're enough to add in this fullness. And I just would take out a little bit each time. I took out a little bit here. Then I just moved it up. And as I moved up, I got to the fullness that she was comfortable with. She didn't want it to fall so much when she had it on. She didn't want it to still fall so much that it basically covered the bust area so much. She wanted it further back. And all I'm going to do is actually remove that portion of the sleeve. And the easiest way to kind of do that is to, one, remove the sleeve totally. I actually took and pinned it, pinned it in the two spots. And I'm going to get, and if you can tell that it's basically almost the same distance that I'm taking out. That's a lot. That's a lot. But it takes it to the where it's not so long on her, and it hits her a little bit further up on the arm, kind of where it needs to be for her. And we're gonna have all this fabric right here out of it. So the first part of doing this is removing the sleeves totally. I cannot remove any inches so I couldn't cut it out. I couldn't cut the seams and everything out because that would distort and adjust the jacket portion too much. So in order to sit up there and make it where it needs to be, I had to actually remove all the stitching that was placed in there. and which probably this one sleeve, it took me just about a half an hour, um, roughly, to just do that. So it should take me an hour to just remove the sleeve, both sleeves, and then because this is lined, I will have to, of course, I'm gonna make sure I measure and everything and cut it. But I may not take y'all on the journey of actually how I do it, only because it's kind of straightforward, hopefully. Um, so I'm going to actually make a marking here across here. Before I actually cut it, I'm going to measure because I need this to be the same way. So I'm not going to cut this right away. So I got to make sure the other one's off. I'm going to measure and make sure it's what I want. And I'm literally going to actually not take out the seaming. That I'm not going to take out is here, the sleeve seaming. I'm going to actually turn it inside out and sew it straight across. I may do it. I may show y'all. If y'all want to know, I'll do a quick little insert right about here of what I did. So hopefully it makes sense. And then once I do that, sew it back together, and then we'll just attach it. I will have to use my serger, even though my serger is not acting the best. The part that's actually not acting right is one of my tension wheels. Is for some reason it becomes lackadaisical. I really need a new tension wheel, but can't get it replaced because I can't find it. And it's probably because of how long I've had the serger, but the other tension wheels are fine. So I'm going to use it to actually still finish off the edging so it does not fray. And that's the main reason why I use my serger, is to reduce the fraying. Plus, it's awesome when it comes to doing knits. So I'm going to get to this. If you have any questions about anything that I show you, please feel. So after removing the sleeves, I needed to take out this stitching that's around the armhole area in order to flip the sleeve inside out. Granted, it took me a minute only because I couldn't see very well because it's black on black. You know what I mean? So that probably took me another 15 to 20 minutes to just clip those strings or flick them with my seam ripper. And then I turned it inside out and ironed it flat. By ironing it flat makes it easier for me to match up both sleeves and do the reduction properly. Now I wanted to make sure I matched up both of the sleeves in order to make sure it turned out right. I did realize after I started that I hadn't fixed the other sleeve the same way, meaning turning it inside out. If you don't do the alteration the same way for both sleeves, it won't look and fit the same way. So I finished turning it inside out and ironing it so that I can match the pieces together. I am using a Panasonic iron that I got from Amazon. I like the iron because it's cordless, but I should have upgraded or something because the housing doesn't hold water. So I keep a spray bottle that I got from the $1.25 store to help me to press a lot of my projects. Anyway, so I got it together, did the adjustments, kind of pinned it in order to measure the distance of what I wanted the sleeve span to be. Made my markings where I wanted to, and I know you probably see that I am taking part of the hump off. It is fine because the very top of the sleeve, it actually was gathered to create a little bit more fullness, and she doesn't want it to be full anymore. So I pinned both of them, got them together, and matched them up. As I matched them up, I used some pins, I believe, to make sure it didn't shift so much, and cut straight across. Now, looking at it, it looks like the sleeve was so small in comparison to the beginning one. I matched the lining with the lining and the fashion fabric with the fashion fabric, and just sewed straight across that seam. It may not make sense, but this was the easiest and quickest way to not have to demolish the actual sleeve in order to put it back together once I reduced the size. I love working on my Juki. It makes light work of a lot of projects. So it's much faster because it only does one function, straight stitches. But anyway, so I did both sleeves, and after I gotten done, the next important thing you need to do for your projects to look professional and look like they're not homemade um, is to iron. So I ironed the seams. I ironed the seam that I sewed open. By sewing it, iron and open, it gives a flatter look, finished off, and it looked way nicer. And it reduces that bulk that could be displayed in the sleeve. We didn't want the bulk to be there. So it does take a minute to adjust things to get it situated, but it works out. Alrighty, now I have managed to finish the jacket. I ended up making the sleeves not so wide. Um, that's what she wanted. So I took out a complete, like, huge piece. I think I showed you before, but this is how much I removed originally. Basically, a whole nother sleeve um, out of the piece, out of the. It gives you still a nice bellowy look, but nobody, unless you tell somebody, they're not gonna know that she had this sleeve altered down. But it looks really good. I reattached it the same way it was sewn into place, and of course, because I want to unzip it, I'm struggling. Oh Lord. Okay, say. Like I didn't do anything special. Um, so all I did was, I gotta get that string out of place. I just sewn it in place, and then I serged it to finish off the edge so it did not unravel. And that's all I did. So just know that if you have jackets or something and the sleeves are just too full for you, you can actually have them altered down, as long as the way it's constructed is really easy to do. Just know that it can take maybe 2 hours from beginning to end on an average. The more complicated the pattern, the more time it will take. As long as it's not a complicated pattern, you're pretty good. So if you like what I just showed y'all, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Um, I'll be back with more, probably a lot of alterations, a lot of things concerning fabric, working with fabrics, doing different things. So this is what I love to do, and today this is what I'm going to do. So y'all have a good one. Catch y'all all the next time. Y'all have a good one. Bye.